United USA. Tribute to 9/11 and a conversation with thought. Each one of these flags is a person. Persons whose life was snatched, taken from them, probably about one of the cruelest ways possible. For me, it's been 20 years, but it feels like yesterday. It doesn't feel like 20 years to me. I look around and just reminds you of all the things that you think about in life that ultimately reminds you of everything that's precious and everything that we hold dear, like liberty, freedom. Close to the airport, just a few miles away from the airport. You hear all the planes taking off. Kind of ironic. It's like walking through a graveyard of the tragedy itself and then being reminded every time you hear a low-flying plane. But that day was not about what people think it was about. The official narrative that we were told, it's about as big as a cover-up as it gets. Next to other things that I've talked about. Only a certain amount of my subscribers, I would say, actually have heard me actually talk about and recant the events of that day to kind of help people to have a better understanding of what really transpired. When every time I look around at all these flags and I realize that each one of these flags is someone's life, just a huge reality check. And just keep going and going and going. What's amazing to me is what the Bush administration was able to get away with. You know, one of the things that most people didn't ask the question, you had 2 planes and 2 towers went down. But then there was also a third building, building number 7, that collapsed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And you don't hear about that. Don't hear about that enough. 2 planes, but yet 3 buildings fell. See a building fall, it's 46 stories high, building 7 falling in 7 seconds at free fall speed. Just look at this right here, just look. Okay, the towers, there were 2 planes that hit 2 towers. They went down at like 10 o'clock in the morning. This is building 7 next to, in the complex there. It went down at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. This building collapses in 6-7 seconds. Drops.
Center Building 7 on September 11th.
Look at that. It drops at free fall speed. I can show you guys lots of controlled demolition videos, but you guys can do that on your own time. Look. Look. That's one of the best views right there, actually. So this is one of the best views right here, hands down. I mean, this is a clear shot. If you can go back to video all around the world, from Asia to America and Europe, and different buildings that have been controlled demolition. You can go back to in the 80s when they were doing controlled demolition on the old casinos as prime examples. You'll see many examples, and what you'll see, the consistency in controlled demolition is the building falls at free fall speed. Now, the reason why the towers look different with that huge cloud of dust is because you got 2 vertical structures that are 110 stories, right? So a different type of demolition. But nonetheless, all controlled demolition. Watch this free fall. 6 seconds in that day. I think one of the saddest things is just kind of looking back and realizing that not only did they get away with something atrocious, but also profited. Dick Cheney's company that he was on the board with, Halliburton, they made billions of dollars. That's something about wars, it tends to make money. And it's amazing to me because there were so many holes in the story. The 9/11 Commission was underfunded. They had particular people that were put in place to head up that investigation. It was covered up really quick with the grief and devastation of something that there was never any justice whatsoever. And ultimately, still to this day, we have those questions that linger. There's a lot more to talk about too. Trust me, I can give you guys extensive information about that day. I'd like to talk more about it. Appreciate y'all tuning in to United USA. 9/11. We will never, ever forget.